Good morning, Jim Hodges here, Roxy here. Roxy is 11-month-old black German Shepherd that's here for our residency program. She's been a great puppy. As you can see, she's black with brown eyes, beautiful dog. You don't see many black Shepherds. I've had the pleasure of working with a few of them over the years, but it's not an everyday occurrence. Roxy's a great girl. She's very sweet and loving, as you can see that right now. Probably the only thing she has going against her is she gets a nervous energy, anxiety about certain things. And it's important when we have a dog like that, when you start working or you have a situation, and she is prey driven, by the way, when we start working or you see she gets tuned into a cat or another dog, I know there's another dog in your family, that we slow things down, make it real easy for her to digest, give a command, and be patient with it. One of the things that we do, we have to practice obedience every day. We don't want to get caught in one of those working real fast, go from one thing to another right now, because if there's any kind of anxiety there, it's just going to feed that anxiety. So we slow things down to a crawl. Give her a chance to relax and understand what's happening. What you doing? Having said that, it's very important that we keep our tone, our volume, and our voice inflection at a positive level, except for when we have to say or we tell her down. If you remember, our tone changes a little bit, but our volume doesn't, okay? We still have to provide a consequence when we need to, but we follow every consequence with praise. And quite honestly, in the beginning, we're trying to build, really all of our life, we're trying to build on positives. Positive, have this work out, have this work out. Unfortunately, at times, we have to be in a position where we provide consequence because our dog's not always listening. The good thing about her is her obedience is pretty snap-on. The time that she starts having a problem with obedience is when she starts to get a little nervous. That's why I mentioned for us to slow things down a little. She does have a prey drive. You've seen that with your cat at home. She likes to play with Sasha. We have a cat right here, and she could actually be getting a little bit nervous right now. I don't know if you're noticing on the video, and I'll notice it later, if she's not really trying to make any eye contact with the kitty cat. And a lot of times it's out of sight, out of mind. If I don't see it, it don't exist, I don't have to get worried. So, but she's being real good. One of the things I would look for a prey-driven dog, of course, if she started pulling and going crazy to get to the cat, or if she gets a real intense glare with her ears popped up and everything else. She's trying to do the right thing. Can you see that? Good girl. I'm proud of you. Yes, ma'am. And I might even give her a little treat. Good girl for being such a good girl. Notice when I gave the treat, I had it here in my hand. I don't like that, because then you have that little snapping action, like that. So give it to her. I give her a treat. Then I pet and love her and tell her how good she is. I always tell people that we give a treat when they do something we want. Doesn't look like she was doing a command or anything that I wanted, but she is doing what I want. She's sitting here, even though she's not in a sit command, being right here by the cat, being attentive to me, and being a generally good dog. So here we go. Listen to my tone inflection, watch my bites on the consequence, and watch me try to encourage her while we're working. If she does something wrong, I'm going to bite it. But of course, with her bites, we don't have to be over the top or anything like that. We never have to be over the top. We only usually go to the level that's necessary for her not to repeat the command. When we do consequence, we always praise on the back end. Why? Because hopefully, when we provide that praise, she's doing what we ask her to do. All right, you ready? Let's go. Atta girl. Good girl. We want her walking with us. Good girl. We do not want her walking in front. Good girl. See how she turned and looked at me? When we're walking in front, when she's walking in front, she can't see us. She can't follow our instruction. Also, having a prey-driven dog, she could come more closely to getting turned on by a prey animal. The other thing that happens when you do the let's go and she's out in front, because I don't know if you noticed, I did a turn, did a jump stop. She wants to see me. She came out and flipped around. And here comes another cat. So we're just going to have to deal with the cats and see what happens. Let's go. We're going to walk right by her. Good girl. That's a good girl. So loose leash right here, little tap. See that? Good girl. I could have said or no when I tapped the leash just then. We're going to go, well, no. Libby's not going to let me go by. Sit. Good girl. Hand signal for sit. Break. That's my release. We come back into let's go. If I had to tap on the let's go, I don't know if you noticed, I tap the leash in the direction in which I want her to go. So if she got out in front of me, I would tap behind me. If she started that way, I would tap in this direction, and I try to do it parallel to the ground. It's a tap. We're not pulling the heck out of her, we're tapping. When we tap the leash, tell her or no, and tap the leash, we're basically making her think about what we want. When we pull the leash, we're doing what we want her to want, and she's not having to think about it. The tap, she has to say, what does he want? Okay, I'll do it. Then we praise. So, let's go. Good girl. Atta girl. Sit means sit. If she did not sit then, we would tap right up here on the leash. Right up above her, tell her no, and sit. And then praise again on the back end. When we do praise after a consequence, we still praise, but it's not as good a praise as if she had done it right the first time, okay? Sit means sit. Notice I didn't say the word stay. She's in a sit until I release her, okay? She has to hold that sit. Big bone dogs, I don't normally keep it a sit more than 30 seconds, a minute, maybe 2 minutes at the most. I just don't like to put that pressure on their rear end. Good girl. Break. Notice how whenever I released her, I stepped back, she came right to me for praise. We're subconsciously, subliminally implanting the come command for any time we start to work with her, okay? So I break. She comes right to me for praise. I love her and tell her how good she is. Good girl. Now, if you're watching and you'll pay close attention, she's actually doing it pretty well, but she's getting just a tad bit. You can see some of that nervous energy. It's a fine line between nervous energy and anxiety, and she toes that line depending on what's going on. Now she's just a little nervous with energy. When we start pushing her, or if we had to interrupt the prey drive there, if she was really demonstrating it, then you would see a little bit of anxiety. And one of the ways you would see that is she may start switching her head back and forth, looking at me, looking at the cat, looking at me, looking at the cat. Fortunately, let's go. We've had a pretty good work here, and she starting to understand with us what prey drive is and what leadership is, okay? Good girl. Why did I praise her? I don't see that intense glare that we were talking about. So you know SIT is straight up. All right, now, come on, sit. Now the DOWN from in front, down. Good girl. Down is down. Now, we would keep her in a down. We don't have the same rule that I have with sit. Whereas I told you, I only keep her in a sit for 30 seconds, a minute, or 2 minutes at the most. If I want to put her in a down, I can put her there and I can leave her there. One of the things that I do is I will go stay whenever I'm going to put her and leave her there. What does stay? Down means down, and down means stay there till I tell you to get up. Stay means pack your bags. You're going to be there a while. You don't really have to pay attention to me. You can lay on your side. You can chew a bone. You can smell the ground a little bit as long as you don't move from that down. This is a very important command for a dog that has a little bit of dominance or leadership mentality to it. Because when we tell our dog to down, they are submitting to you as their leader, okay? So she downs, she holds it. She had a hard time before. She's doing real well with it good right now, and she's watching me. So when she's watching me, what am I going to do? Come in and pet her, good girl. And I'm going to try as often as I can when I tell her good girl to pet and love her. I'm also, when she does something wrong and I have to say or no, I'm going to bite her. Why? So many people I talk to every day say when they first got their dog listened to the word no. But they stopped listening. Why? Dogs communicate in the physical language. Running, jumping, bumping, biting, growling, posturing. And when we just say no without that physical touch, it tends to go in one ear and out the other. Okay, good girl. So she's held it. When I do the STAY, I typically keep a dog there for a couple of minutes at a time to let them see that they have to hold it. With her having, no, down, stay. And you see what happened there? She read me. She thought I was going to do something with her, like with the sit, pulling up on the leash. No, so I had to put her back into that command. The down and down stay is very important when you have other animals around that she likes to play with or chase after. We're showing who we are, okay? Break. Good girl. Right back to me. Let's go. Back to a loose command. Place. Hand signal towards the bed. Place. Place means she can lay down, sit down, stand up, read a book. I say that all the time. Do anything she wants on that bed as long as she stays on that bed. She can do this 2-3 hours at a time. Your real test is going to begin with Sasha, your dog, or your cat coming into the room. Be prepared for her to get up. If she got up in the beginning, you would have the leash on her initially, get the leash, tap her back. You remember the let's go, the tap parallel to the ground? No, 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 no. Place. Good girl. And put her right back. She will learn that's what that means in your home. I have dogs, I have cats inside. You see the cat's outside as well. She has learned to hold that command without problem. She did pop up the first time or two. We had to show her. Right. That's another thing is, there's only been one perfect being to ever walk this earth, and it's not her or me or you or any person I've ever personally met physically here on this earth. We're going to make mistakes. She's almost 2 weeks in here, and she's come such a long way. She's going to continue to grow. Your dog's going to grow. We show obedience. We show leadership. We never give a command to our dog unless we know they're going to do it. Ideally, that's what's going to happen. Or if they don't do it, we can provide a consequence and make them. When we start to do that every day, we start getting our dog to obey us 8-9 times out of 10 the first time, they start to understand that we're truly the leader. At the same time, we want to communicate with them that it can be fun, that we love them. We want them to do the things that we ask, but regardless, they're going to do it anyway. Let's go. So we did the DOW hint, sit from in front, hand signal was right up in front, down. Now there's the down signal from the side. Down means down, just like with the other. She has to hold it until we release her. One of the things I like to do with dogs when I'm teaching down is immediately come back with the SIT. Sit. That is one of the hardest commands for a dog to learn. So I always have a dog sit when we first start teaching the down. I have it down, immediately sit, because most dogs are in a hurry to want to get up anyway. Break. Good girl. Atta girl. When we first start walking, if we've got a dog that's pulling, let's go. We want to change directions a lot. Yes, I'm on a video and I'm trying to stay within the confines of the lens, but we want to do this to show that we're in control, that we may turn at any time and our dog has to listen. Once we start going on a walk in the neighborhood, then we're not making these turns, except if we see that she's not paying attention to us. We also do a little bit of obedience, not the whole time, but at least a little bit of obedience on our walks to show her that it's our walk, that we're in control, okay? So, sit. Good girl. So next is the heel command. The heel command is a rectangular box by our side. We want her to stay under this box with us. When we keep a short leash, just like with the let's go command, we keep a short leash to begin with. Our job is to keep her in the box. If she starts to get out, we tap the leash to keep her in until she starts to understand what we want. And we're going to do that with a loose leash. We're not going to be pulling on her the whole time. When we stop, she sits. When we step off, she's there. Hand signals like this. Heel. Atta girl. We do figure eights from time to time. And the reason we do that, right back in here, is to get her right back where she needs to be. When she stops, she sits. Good girl. I step off, she holds it. One more time. Hand signal, heel. when I'm taking a short turn like that, you see there's not as much distance to cover, but when I start turning this way, she has to really speed up because she has, good girl, she has more ground to cover than I do, okay? Because we're taking that outer edge. Good girl. Down. Good. I'm proud of you. You're doing good, sweetheart. Yes. And a girl. See how she's watching me? We want to praise her when she's watching. We want to let her know only good things can happen when she's looking at us like she's doing. Break. Last thing, and this is important, in your car, doesn't hurt so much when she gets in, but she's ready to bolt out the door when she gets out of the car. We can't have that happen. So just as we practiced the other day, I always, when I get ready to load a dog up, I have it sit before I have it load up. Why do I do that? Because I don't want her just jumping into the car thinking it's her choice of what to do. I'm controlling that situation. Then when we're in the car, I don't normally say down. I don't normally say sit, because if I said those commands, I'd have to be in a position to make her do it. And if I'm driving down the road 55 miles an hour, that's going to be pretty hard. So what I normally do in the car is I either say nothing or I tell her to PLACE. Quite honestly, PLACE is what I normally do, okay? So we stop the car, and this is important. Just a sidebar, I want to tell everyone, I did a Boykin Spaniel video 6-8 months ago. I've had Boykin Spaniel people from all over the country contact me about breeders, about training and things like that. But I had a young lady tell me that they had adopted a puppy, a Boykin Spaniel puppy, and they had it in the car with them. Their window was rolled down, and the Boykin jumped out of the window while they were going down the road and died. You have to understand that it only takes a second for things to go wrong. Be conservative in your approach. Know what's going to happen, and try to protect yourself from that bad thing to happen. Just a little sidebar. Same thing with what we're talking about here. If we open the door, she comes flying out. We're in a busy area. She could run right out into the road. So when we stop the car, we tell her to place. We do this at home. We practice at home or friends' homes, someplace that's safe. If she starts to get out of the car, what are we going to do? No, place. And then she's going to start to learn that place is there. In fact, I tell people to rehearse it in your own driveway 3 or 4 times before you get out and drive. Then what you do is go around the block and come back and stop. Let her start to understand the process that the rules are changing. Okay? Let's go. Good girl. Sit. Good. Now, I actually almost use the same command as place, the hand signal. Load up. Hup. Ah, girl. As soon as she gets in, I praise in the moment. That's a good girl. Break. I'm proud of you. All right. Did you see that? She was thinking about getting on the bed. Sit. Next command is the COME command. You notice I spelled it because I don't want it to happen. There are 2 versions of this. One is on leash, one is off leash. I recommend all of my clients, you out there too that may be watching this video, to use treats. If your dog is motivated, use treats 100, 200 times. Get them to the point that if they're really like the treats, we want to meld that payoff with them coming every time, okay? So I've got her in a sit command, I think. She's in a sit command. I'm going to assume, good girl, sit. Now I know she's in a sit command. So I'm getting ready to do the on leash. My hand will come like this. Good girl. And she's supposed to sit in front of me. I've got a treat here. Give her a treat. Good girl. And guess what? Now, messed up a little bit. What does she do? She's supposed to sit and hold that sit until I release. So when we mess up, good girl. Step off, atta girl, come. Good. Notice this time I didn't have the treat, but it didn't matter. Break. We use the treat on leash to help guide her where we want her to go. Notice I didn't say come like this, because if I'd have said come like this, where I held my hand out here, where is she going to go? Here. I want her to come right here. Good girl. Break. The next thing I start doing is when I feel like she's relaxed, and this is where I'll get a treat because we're trying to start to simulate off leash. Come. Is at any point in time have her come break when she's not paying attention. Treats are important in a situation like this. At some point she's got to do it. The important thing about the come command is unless we're on leash, we never bite her for coming to us. If we've got to go to work, we have her come to us, we pet her, we love her, and then we just break and we release her for a minute, then we take her in and put her up. We never call her to us in the yard and punish her for that, okay? Also notice what I'm doing here. I'm actually subliminally teaching her the COME command. And every time she's coming to me, I'm patting. That's what I did with the break a while ago. Break. She hears that break, she wants to come to me. Why does she want to come to me? Because I'm patting her and loving her and letting her know how good she is. Okay? Really important. Only she comes, we do not pat her and praise her until she finishes the command. If she messes up like she did there, it's not a bad thing. It's not the end of the world. What we do, though, is make a note of it, and then we come back and try to repeat that command at least 2, maybe 3 times correctly in a row. Make sure she knows what's going on. If she becomes very anxious and starts to break down, try to get it once, maybe do another command, and stop for a while and come back and try it again later when we're upbeat. We never ever call her to us and punish her. We never ever call her to us when she's done something wrong. The come has to be positive, positive, positive. Even if she's done something wrong and she comes to you, you can't provide a consequence for that because she's trusting you, okay? Good girl. That's a good girl. You know, if you ever have any questions, you give me a call. Roxy's a fantastic girl. That nervous energy, anxiety is never going to go completely away. I think you're aware of that. But you can also see, here we are, we've been pushing now for 15, 20 minutes, and she's focused on me and she's doing what I asked her to do. Will we be able to do this off leash? Yes, one day. We started inside and moved to outside. I never give a command to a dog unless I know they can do it or I can make them do it. So when she starts obeying us pretty consistently, I might start doing off leash in home. Because inside the house, she can't get away from us if she doesn't do the command. We can usually chase her down. I may actually even do it with a leash. When we go outside, I may use a leash, I may use a drop line. If I've got a fenced-in backyard, don't need to necessarily use any of those. But we do not tell her to come outside off leash. Usually I tell my clients, and this is in the booklet that I wrote for you, that we don't tell her to come until she's committed to coming off leash. Okay? Then we tell her how good she is. So I'm going to try to simulate that. I got a treat. Break. Good girl. All right, girl. Right here. Right here. Come. When she was committed to coming to me, I did it. Praised her, told her to come, and pet her. Break. Okay? Off leash, I don't care if she sits or not. I'm going to let you decide that. I make my dog sit no matter what the recall command is. But the ideal thing about off leash is getting them to come when called. I hope this has helped. My number is 336-945-3232. You know I'm here for you forever. If you ever need a follow-up, I'm here for it, okay? I think she's a great girl, and she's going to be nothing but a better girl as you become her leader. She's going to love you for it. It's going to make her feel so comfortable and confident in her life when she knows she's got someone that's got her back. JimHodgesDogTraining.com, Facebook Jim Hodges Dog Training. Again, 336-945-3232. Thank you so much, and take care. Great. Good girl.